Question 6, Neil.
Question 6, Neil Hamilton.
What are the implications for Wales of adopting a distinctive justice system which is truly representative of Welsh needs?
The First Minister announced on the 18th of September that he was setting up a commission on justice in Wales to review the justice system and policing and to consider how the system can achieve better outcomes for Wales.
I thank the Counsel General for that answer. I know it's the ambition of the Welsh Government to have a separate justice system in Wales. Wales has been incorporated into a fused jurisdiction for 600 years, and its history is very different, therefore, from Scotland and Ireland, including Northern Ireland. And whilst it may come a time where there are significant divergences between the law as it applies in Wales and in England, we're a very long way from that as yet, and therefore it would be important, if we're going to keep the costs of the law in proportion, to proceed slowly in this respect. And in particular, insofar as the regulation of the legal profession is concerned, does the Counsel General agree with me that it is certainly premature to think of splitting off the regulation of solicitors or members of the bar, and I declare an interest as a member of the bar myself in this respect, from the one which currently exists in the jurisdiction of England and Wales?
Okay. The first thing is, in terms of the ambition for a separate justice system, which you refer to, the ambition actually is related to the proper and most effective administration of justice. One of the complications, as I've said before, over the arguments over a separate jurisdiction are that it has almost achieved some sort of philosophical and catechismal status. A jurisdiction is really just an area where you have laws being made, and having one jurisdiction when there was just one parliament making law made sense. Where you have another parliament making laws, it's important that the system for the administration of justice actually reflects that. You make a valid point in respect of the scale of that, the extent, but of course the extent of divergence is not just in terms of the legislation we pass, but also the legislation that is passed in England as well that doesn't apply to Wales. One of the ways of looking at this that was in fact referred to some while back was in fact a distinct jurisdiction, that is not about taking over the judiciary, taking over the courts, the buildings, the personnel, but purely to ensure a system whereby you ensure that if a case involves Welsh law, it is heard in Wales by judges and with lawyers and advocates who actually understand Welsh law. So that I think is the sort of correct framework within which to look at that. In terms of regulation per se and the regulatory bodies for lawyers, and of course the many non-lawyers who now work within legal services and the broader legal profession, I don't think there's ever been any case of putting up barriers. I think it is one of the perceptions. I think it's very important that we avoid allowing to be created, that we do not want to have barriers, that we do not want to see barriers between Welsh lawyers being able to practice in England or English lawyers being able to practice within Wales. But it is solely about how you actually ensure that, firstly, lawyers practicing in Wales do have the proper qualifications and knowledge of Welsh laws. I think the same actually will apply in respect of practicing with England, understanding what those differences are. And of course there was an article, I don't know if it's the one the member is referring to, that appeared I think in the Law Society Gazette that said now is not the time to split off. It has never been a question of splitting off. That, I think, is a complete misunderstanding of what the development of a jurisdiction actually is. It is about the administration of law, but not one where we want to have any perceptions of division, just ensuring that where Welsh laws are involved, that the lawyers are involved and that the judiciary involved have been properly trained and understanding what those laws actually are.